You said sometimes women are the problem?
Women struggle with accountability. I've realized that sometimes women are the problem, we can't be the problem sometimes. We're quick to dismiss that. I think it's because it's so easy for us women to be sympathized for. Men don't get that. We're quick to want to shut off the men, and men are quick to be like, let me just step out of this, even though they have emotions too. But I will say, I think it's all on us. We have to be able to know how to properly date the right people. We all date according to our upbringing and what we experienced or what we didn't experience. Say that I've talked to somebody and oh, they were just the worst, blah, blah, blah. Usually if you get to that point, it's because there's something you allowed it. Yeah, you got yourself to that point because you didn't cut it off. You didn't put your boundaries up, whatever. There shouldn't be any reason why anybody should get riled up or anything. If you feel the need to be right, your ego is this big over here.
That's real.
But again, we're human, we're always going to have an ego, but I think we have to be mindful of it and make sure we starve it as much as possible. Because if you're constantly feeding into needing validation, into being accepted, into people pleasing, into anything, you're feeding this thing, making it grow. And what we need to be doing is starving it so that we can move according to how we should be moving versus this thing that's controlling us, our emotions.
Man, what would you recommend for somebody to starve that ego?
I would say
Fully connected. Hey, real quick, guys, before we get started with the episode, I just want to say thank you for clicking on this video. I realize the majority of people who watch this podcast haven't yet subscribed to the podcast. So take that time right now to hit that subscribe button and to smash that like button. I really appreciate the support. Now let's get back to the episode. Yeah. Welcome back to the Fully Connected Podcast, your go-to destination for inspirational conversations to help you become your greatest version. I am your host, Chris Jones, licensed therapist and owner of Fully Connected Counseling. Today we got a special guest. She is a female entrepreneur, barber, and esthetician, right? She's the owner of Vibez Barbershop, where it's not just a barbershop, it's a whole vibe, where the fades hit different, where the lineups are clean, crisp, making you feel confident, right? She's been cutting hair for over a decade, and she's been owning her own business for almost half a decade, right? She doesn't just do cuts, she does facials, extractions, she does the whole thing, man. She even has somebody in the shop who can braid and twist up your hair, so make sure you guys go check her out. But without further ado, please welcome Ruth Vinova.
I want to say that was a great intro. Thank you. Oh my God. And then I wanted to add to that, we have a nail tech in there now too. So
okay, you got
I have
a nail
to shout
tech.
her out. Yeah.
Nice. So it's all female crew.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
yeah.
How's that feel, man? All females in there.
It's great. I always wondered if that would be an issue, but we all get along pretty well.
Man, that's great, man.
Yeah.
So kind of the obvious question people probably are wondering, what is like to be a female barber in a male dominated industry?
Yeah.
There could be pros, there could be cons. What's it like?
Oh, that would take up the whole time. But yeah, no, I feel like nowadays people are definitely more accepting. Mm-hmm. I think when and I mentioned this before when I tell people my journey, but early on in the place, I don't know, maybe it's just because it's Wichita or whatever, but when I started, it just wasn't as accepting or as normal. People would come into the shop, they're look at me kind of what is she doing here? Aren't you supposed to be at a salon somewhere maybe? But everybody was always kind. They would it just took some time to gain the trust enough for them to actually want to sit in the chair.
Facts.
It's they would kind of probably observe a little bit more until they're okay, I'll give her a chance. Or sometimes one of the guys wouldn't be able to get somebody in and they'll be I see her here all the time. I trust her, and that takes time.
It takes time because a lot of people don't know the first year or two for most barbers, you just kind of waiting.
Yeah, and that's for any barber in general,
right,
but
right.
especially
just for guys, females, whatever.
Yeah, and but of course there's always that you always get looked at a little strange if you happen to be a female or even a white male. I had a conversation with Alec the other day about how his struggles are almost similar to mine, him being a white,
Facts.
a white man in the barbering field or whatever, and I was like, oh my God, you dealt with that too? Because oh my God, he said the exact same thing that I had said, where like if somebody would come in, and let's just say you're an experienced barber, they'll go to the brand new barber or the brand new person that just got out of barber school that does not look like you, just because they trust them more just based off of image. So it was just stuff like that that's just, you had to deal with early on, but you gain people's trust. So I think it's a beautiful thing too, though. Once you get there, you're like, okay, you trust me now. Great. Man, so I earned it, Yeah,
absolutely. And I definitely going to earn it with what the product you give, the service you give. Like when they see the cut, they're going to start to trust.
Yeah.
They're going to start to trust. But like those struggles. So it's just like people not really, they might walk past you, or it's like, oh, she's a female barber, or like maybe your parents are like, oh, well, can you cut? How do you deal with like the, all the spectators and all the people, the haters? Like, what are some of the things you do to kind of show people like, hey, like I can cut?
I just put out my work, really, honestly, because
facts.
it's, I know a lot of barbers deal with this in general, where they're like, somebody would come into the shop like, all right, who's the best barber in here? And everybody just stays quiet. I think we all kind of have that. We don't have to verbally prove ourselves. We just have to show. It's like, hey, you look at my work. If you trust me, you want to get in the chair. If you got to make all these excuses as to why you don't want to come to me, that's fine. You could find somebody that's more appealing to you. But a lot of times people are just very, especially like the really good clients, they're just more like, hey, I'm going to give you a chance. And they don't have to boast about it. They don't be like, oh, I'm going to test you out. Oh, no. Like, it's...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the cuts, like one of my clients, he actually gets cut up by you. I can't say his name, obviously, but I saw him on the page. I was like, man, he really cleaned him up on those the client transformation videos. Let's talk about how did those start, because like they've been really kicking off for sure.
Yeah, actually. Well, yeah. So, I mean, I feel like I didn't really have time for that. I did have like a busy schedule, and then in this era, you do have to like put yourself out there more with videos and haircut videos. It's not about just haircuts anymore. You have to be, or even with a lot of jobs, you have to have a social media presence. And that was one of those things where I'm like, oh my God, like I'm so busy. I don't have time to put videos, but I want to so bad. So I've made time for that now. Like I have a set schedule with my haircuts, and then outside of that, I'll tend to my dog. I'll tend to video editing and stuff like that. So I'm kind of just getting with the wave, because you kind of have to with a lot of things. If you don't get with the wave and you don't hop in, you're gonna be left behind, like so far behind. And that's just with any profession, Yeah.
Do you like social media?
I do. I like it.
Because I saw that post you posted earlier today. I was like, man, I could relate to that. You said when you have a business, but you want to like be done with social media.
Yeah, but you kind of have to stick to it. It's like love-hate relationship there with social media. It's like when I do it, I like to do it when I want to be creative. And sometimes you do have that pressure of like, I have to, because I have to appeal to this person or these group of people, because it's going to be good for the business.
Exactly, man. Like that, So I want to kind of go all the way back to the very beginning, back in elementary school, right? When you talked about how you first got inspired, just like liking art, and then seeing those kids with the Disney characters and their haircut. Like, can you tell everybody a little bit like why that inspired you to do what you're doing now?
I think I've just always liked art.
Yeah.
And again, like shout out to my friends in Texas that I grew up with. They was these twin boys that would come into school, and they always had designs, in their head. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I don't know. I've always liked art, and just the fact that you could do that was just so amazing to me. It stuck with me for a long time.
Yeah.
So once like I got to high school and I had to like figure out what I wanted to do for a career, I went back to that thought, because I knew I set that down for a second. I'm like, let me bring this back up and like brainstorm and see if that's something that I would want to do. But yeah, that's kind of, I don't know. I've always loved art. I love transformation in anything, or even self. Like when you have, when you work on yourself, the transformation from this is what it was, this is what it is now. An art transformation. This is what it was, and this is where we're at now. Man. I love that. I live for that.
That's awesome. What do you think it is? About seeing that transformation.
It's like the passion for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then too, like, what made you stop wanting to do radio? Like you were getting into radio at one point, and then you had a different transformation to doing art and hair.
The lack of creative freedom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a conversation one time when I was interning for my radio, and they said that, okay, well, we like what you did, but we're going to have to do it this way so we can appeal to these people. And I was just like, that's when it hit me. It's like, oh my God, like I love doing this. And then they hit me with that. And I'm like, reality hit. I'm like, you are not going to be able to do what you really want to do. You're not going to be able to be yourself. And then from that point on, I was like, oh my God. And it hit me in my stomach because I was like, I love doing this. And you're just telling, it's like that door just shut right then and there because it was reality. Like, you're not going to be able to be creative in this. And you're going to have to put on an act that you don't want to put on. And especially at that time, I was not for that.
It's crazy. That's real though, because a lot of people work jobs where they can't be themselves, and I feel like that's what makes a job miserable.
Yeah,
you can't be who you are. But you're at the shop, right? And so, are you the only barber?
Right now, yes. I used to have another barber there, but for right now, it's just me doing haircuts, and then I have Kyra in there braiding, Lexi doing nails, and then Kyra's sister. Yalitza, she's doing the aesthetics, like body waxing, facials. I love it. It's a good combo. I love it. Yeah.
So I'm like really curious too, because I feel like, obviously being a female barber can have like some pros to it too, because it's like you're like kind of like a unicorn, even though there's more female barbers now. But it's like, what are some of the advantages of being able to be a female barber? Like, because some people might be kind of like, oh man, like I want to see her.
Yeah, the advantages.
Would you say there's advantages?
There can be. Yeah. And I feel like sometimes people that are not in that position will take the advantages as okay, they're pretty girls, whatever, just getting attention. That's why males want to come to them and stuff like that. Which, I mean, there's a lot of that on social media for sure, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it's just, like, I don't know. I've realized, I can only speak for myself, but I feel like a lot of the times men have said that when they go to a male, they're kind of like, they're on guard, because around males, they're just on guard. But when they're in the chair, they're just chill. And maybe it's just the softness of a woman of like, okay, I don't have to be like, you know what I'm saying?
That's real.
So, yeah. And then it brings a little bit of a different vibe to the situation. Yeah. But of course, always respectful. You know what I mean?
Man, that's super real. That's super real. I didn't even think about it. And like too, like barbers are kind of like therapists too.
Yeah.
So you're in there doing therapy too.
Yeah. And that's what's crazy is that everybody has their therapy sessions in barbershops and stuff like that. But when you're in a shop where there's women, you get a whole different conversation. Yeah, you do. You get two different perspectives. I love it because it's like if it's a male in a male shop, you're going to get one side. For the most part, of feelings, of perspectives. But when you're in a shop where there's women present, there's some men and there's some women, you're getting both sides of an opinion. And I feel like we've grown a lot from that too. Like I've learned a lot about men in general being around them. And I've realized that sometimes women are the problem, we can't be the problem sometimes, but it's hard to like get to the point where you're able to see that.
So what do you mean? You said sometimes women are the problem? Can you share about this? What do you mean exactly?
So one thing I've realized a lot is it's hard for women to acknowledge it. Some people would be like, girl, like you're just trying to be a pick me. No, women struggle with accountability. I've worked on mine, okay? I've worked on mine, but I could see like it's so crazy because from the girls you'll get one perspective of like he did this, blah 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 blah, and then you'll get the male's perspective like she did this, blah blah blah, and now you're seeing like, oh, okay, I see where we could both do better. Okay, not just the man being the problem all the time. That man ain't, right. And you know what I'm saying? So it's I love that about my job too, is that, and then we're also respectful in there. We don't just lash out and you're the problem, this is this and that. We'll open a conversation and make it as safe as possible for everybody and respectful to where we can actually understand each other's opinions and sides. And again, another thing I love is I love psychology. I freaking love it.
Okay.
I'm passionate about it. I
awesome.
didn't go to school, and I've thought about going to school for it just so I can actually learn it professionally. But my passions are transformations, art, creativity, and psychology.
Yo, that's a combination right there.
Like those are the things that just, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm very passionate.
I know Gabby said also spirituality too. Like,
yes.
Is that another combination in there as well? That's hard.
Yeah, that too.
Imagine you being a licensed barber and a licensed therapist. You could bill for insurance and get the.
Yeah, and at that point, it's like, are we gonna have to upcharge or?
Man,
no, I'm just kidding. I do, and I bring that up to my clients all the time. I'm like, look, I don't just take sides in any situation. If somebody brings up something, I'm like, look, I understand your side on this, but also this. I'm not here to pin no sides. I'm just here to give my opinion on both ends of situations that they might bring up or that they're struggling with or whatever. But I also bring up, I was like, but it would be awesome if you go see a professional.
Okay. There you go.
A professional with more experience and, that type of thing.
That's real.
I always bring that up. And some people are like, I don't know. And other people are like, well, that's what I got you for. And
that's
I'm
what I got you for. You're like, that's hilarious. So the piece when you're talking about the accountability piece, I already know right now there's going to be some women in the comment section. If you could maybe kind of just say, again, your point to why you said that about the accountability, because I already know there's going to be like, what you talking about, Ruth? Like, women don't take accountability.
I think it's because it's so easy for us women to be, how do I say it, sympathized for, because we cry, we weep, we go through things, and it's like, oh, okay, like, men don't get that. So as soon as women put out a situation where they're like, woe is me, and not to say that it's not validated, but it's like we were quick to want to shut off the men, and men are quick to be like, let me just step out of this, even though they have emotions too. They have anger, they have feelings and stuff like that, but they're more quick to be like, let me just shut up,
Oh, that's real.
And then just to keep the peace, a lot of the time people are just like, oh, well, we'll just let the women be women and let them get away with what they just did or what they said. They're the victim,
Oh, yeah.
Just because it's more peaceful that way. They're the one that's crying, and I normally don't cry, so we'll just keep it that way. But then it just develops a bad habit with us as a society,
Oh, man. What do you think about that? Like, just as a society, or like, do you have any thoughts or opinions about like where we're headed?
Ooh, I feel like less and less people are working on themselves. But then again, I don't know. There's a good wave of people that are becoming more aware. More aware. So I think it's a 50-50. I think it's a battle right now of like entertainment, distraction, money, fast money. And then those that are really trying to find deeper meaning to life and to them, and growing their self-respect, their self-esteem, their self-worth, and that we don't have to abide by living life exactly how our parents did and stuff like that. We're getting more and more away from like, oh, this is how it is. This is how it should be. No, let me take care of me. If I don't have to have kids if I don't want to. I don't have to get married if I don't want to. So I think on that side of things, we're growing. But of course, it's, the distractions are also there.
The distraction is always going to be there.
Yeah.
And like you talked about too, like having kids and stuff like that, like what is it like being like a Hispanic woman and then telling your family like, hey, I don't really know if I want to have kids? Like, would you say your family is more traditional or like kind of more accepting about that?
I think my family has always been a little more different to like the average, because I've always heard people say that their parents are like, oh, when are you going to give me grandchildren? When are you going to give me grandchildren?
Oh, yeah, right.
And my mom's always been the type of person to be like, take your time, find the right person, and that type of thing. And even she broke a lot of generational curses, from how she grew up. And so I do admire her for that. Even we had this conversation at the shop the other day about that we didn't get hit growing up. We didn't get disciplined by physical nothing growing up. And some people in the shop were like shocked. They were like, well, how did you get disciplined. We were like, she talked to us.
She talked to us. Wow.
But it's not that she didn't. It's not that, you know, we don't come from the familiarity of that. Is that I know my mom did grow up in an environment where it was 8 kids, and that's how they were disciplined and such. And she's the one that broke that. She's like, I'm gonna have kids and I'm gonna talk to them. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm not gonna put my hands on them. So even that is a little bit different, I guess.
No, that's real. Because so they have like those 4 styles of parenting. There's a psychology. Since you like psychology, you have the authoritarian parenting style, which is that very military, very strict home. Then you have the permissive, you know, home that's very like lenient, like we're friends, all that kind of vibe. Then you got the uninvolved, the ones that are either just MIA or sometimes they're just downstairs watching the game with kids on top of the table. And you got the one that your mom was doing called authoritative, which is like, hey, let's talk about this. Yeah. Like they still have those expectations, but they also validate the feelings. So like that's the ideal parenting approach we want to have. Yeah. Based on psychology. So
maybe want to go to school for this.
Yeah. Psychology, yeah, man. So what do you like about psychology? What brings you? I guess like you said earlier too, the transformation. You know, so let's talk about your transformation because you started at Midwest Blends, then you went to Primetime, and then now here you are at Vibez. Yeah. So if you could tell everybody about that that's a transformation right there. Yeah.
Honestly, like when I first started, I didn't plan on opening up my own thing, like I said. So I just kind of stumbled upon that, and I feel like I might have manifested it too a little bit, because like when I first went to Primetime and I was trying to figure out where I wanted to go, on my way to go talk to Nelson about going and working there, I passed by that building and I looked inside and I'm like, oh my God, that's the exact space I would need to do everything. But then I was like, it's not the time right now. Like it's just probably not right now.
So you were looking at that building too?
Yeah, I was before.
That's crazy. I was telling him too, because I was looking at that building too. Yes, right there on Colors.
So you could do so much in there.
Yeah, but I was telling my colleague, I was like, yeah, this is going to be like a good barbershop. And it's crazy because now it is. Yeah. Yeah, because I was like, wild. People don't want to have therapy right there in the intersection. Might be too much, but yeah. So you didn't realize you were going to be on your own in the beginning.
No, that wasn't my goal. I know a lot of people go into barbering and to that type of thing with the goal of like, let me open up my own thing. Right. To me, that wasn't. It's not that I was opposed to it. It was an initial thought though. For sure. But again, I went to school for aesthetics, and I was like, okay, well, I need to do something with this, and I need to make my money's worth out of it. So yeah, I might as well just open up my own thing where I could do all of it.
That's dope, man. That's super dope. I think a lot of people, especially the kids nowadays, they think they can just go right to the entrepreneur owner kind of phase, but you gotta you gotta earn your get some skin in the game.
There's an initiation period, low key kind of.
No, for real.
You gotta sit in that chair and just pass out cards. Actually, I don't even know if people are doing that anymore. Like they're just like sitting in the shop, I think, and just waiting for, all right, I got my license now. Just bring me everything that all these other barbers have. Like, no,
don't work all the time. Man, that's crazy. So, like, what are some of did you ever get discouraged? Like, just kind of when you were waiting those first couple years, like waiting for the people to walk by your chair, like, how did you get past all the discouragement, you know? I'm a little stubborn. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little stubborn.
Taurus,
so Virgo.
Okay. Now we see.
I'm a little stubborn, so I was like, ain't no way these dudes are, like making it happen, and I know I could do it.
I can cut better.
Not then, not at that time. I was like, I know I'm not shredding people's hair. Like I know it's decent enough, But and then, some of the guys would give me advice. They're like, well, you should dress like this and this and that. And to be able to get people in there, I was like, y'all are cutting them basketball shorts. Like, y'all don't got to dress up. I don't got to dress up. Like, I want my skill to bring me my clientele, So,
So people would tell you to dress up to cut hair?
Yeah. They're like, maybe you could do this. And I'm like, no, like, that's not how I want to gain my clientele. Like, I want to gain them because they like my haircuts.
So what kind of aesthetic were they wanting you to dress up? Like, kind of very, like,
I don't know. It was one particular barber friend, which I get it. He meant well with it, but he's like, well, maybe you could just dress nicer, put on makeup, blah, 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 just look a little more appealing and stuff like that. I'm like, nah, if I want to wear regular clothes like y'all do.
Facts. Because then if you dress up and do all that stuff and whatnot, then you might, attract some
The
kind
wrong
of
ones.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
the wrong
let's
ones.
talk about that. Has there ever been a time when you had to kick somebody out the chair?
No, I've never really had any crazy situations. I mean, there's been a few times where I had to cut people off because they were just getting a little bit too. I don't want to say disrespectful. I mean, yeah, it would get into the point where it was a little disrespectful, but not on that part of it. Like not towards man to woman or nothing like that. It was just more so of like on a professionalism, I guess.
Oh yeah, they're trying to
like
talk to you.
No, not like that. I mean,
how do you deal with that? Because there's gonna be the creepy guy that goes in the chair and then maybe comes to try to bring you flowers or
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, cause it just, I don't know, like if I'm a female barber, I would feel like, I don't know, like it just seems like that could possibly happen to somebody like being extra friendly.
Right. You know what's crazy is that it hasn't happened much in my 10 years.
That's
and
good.
It actually stopped happening as the years went by. And I think it's just, or even when I go places too, like I don't get approached in ways that I used to when I was younger.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like they know that I don't feed into that type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's why the clients that I have now, they're so respectful because the ones that, you know, I set the tone as to how I'm going to act when I'm in the shop. Right. There's a lot of little things that I do that maybe other people don't think about that actually sets the tone for like, we're not doing anything past me cutting your hair and you know what I'm saying? So me setting those boundaries has really attracted the right people to me because I have really so many people that are very like respectful, very, very respectful, and it's never any weird, funny business.
That's cool. So it was about setting that boundary, you know, because hey, exactly. So most of your clients, I'm going to assume maybe are guys?
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly,
I have a few females here and there, but yeah.
That's super dope. So you do like the eyebrow deals and whatnot. Like guys are getting the eyebrows done. Like that's becoming a thing too. Because before some guys were like, oh, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But like, what else can you tell everybody? Like, what else you do other than cutting hair at the shop?
So like I said, I went to school for aesthetics. So I do body waxing too, facials, which I mean, a lot of barbers do facials, but we'll do like the hour-long facials.
The hour-long facial?
Yeah, like those ones where, you know, you can go to the room and just relax, the steamer, music.
Okay.
And then you can get, you know, exfoliating, just like whole relaxation, you know.
So I can come in there and just get a facial?
Yeah, whatever.
That's fine.
Yeah, and it's so good. Like I see people get up and they're like, oh my God, like that was really great. Like, thank you. I don't know why I haven't gotten a facial before.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Is there like products like that you're aware of that can help with like from like the male pattern baldness, you know, because as like I was telling you, I'm gonna be 33 here in a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay.
My hair's thinning there, Ruth.
Like I was telling
my hair's thinning, you know what I mean? So it's like if you like is it just all genetic? Like is there certain things like one can do? Like if there's a guy watching right now like myself that like wants to get that hairline back without surgery and without having to take pills.
The only thing I have really seen 100% effective is going to Turkey and getting that hair implant stuff. I have a few clients that got it done and I'm like, oh my God, it's so cool. Like it actually works.
And they're like nice and full too. It's not like just like a buzz cut.
Yeah, no, it's like they got the hair follicles coming back. But I will also point this out too, that people, I've seen a pattern and I've been wanting to talk about this. Yeah, whenever it comes to like baldness. Yeah, sometimes it might be like genetic, you know, you have no control over that. But what I've noticed a pattern in people that are older and still have full head of hair. And I'm like, what is it about these people that is different to the people that are just losing their hair? And I'm not saying this is a fact, but again, it's a pattern. These older men that still have their full head of hair are very peaceful, calm, collected men. So I don't know if there's a science there of like, you know, the more peaceful life you live and you choose to stay away from drama. You get to keep your hair.
So you're saying maybe one of the secrets is stress, like
maybe,
reducing your cortisol levels.
Yeah, man, staying out of drama.
No, that's real. Health, stress, appetite, diet, smoking. You know, all that. Okay.
Yeah, some of them smoke, but no, I think they're chill. They're chill people and they still have their hair. So I'm like, again, I don't know that there's some facts there, but I see it, you know. Right.
Like as a female, do you feel like when you're amongst your friends, like is that a turnoff for a lot of women if the guy's bald?
I don't think so. I think everybody's past that.
Okay.
And especially, everybody has that, okay, well, they're bald, but they have facial hair.
Oh, so
That type
you
of
gotta.
thing.
It's like
It balances out. But I don't really see anybody making a big deal about that type of thing. Yeah. And then also, like, since I'm an esthetician, another thing I've noticed about good skincare that you could do that has nothing to do with product is don't let people stress you either. Like,
so it's all about stress.
Yes, it's like if you stay stress free, and away from drama, live as peaceful as you possibly can. You get to keep your hair and you have good skin.
So this is how you stay looking youthful.
Yes.
All right. So how do you stay stress free? Because it's 20, like just in modern times, like what does Ruth do to stay stress free? Because I'm not sure how many clients you see on a given day.
Yeah.
You seem very calm, very chill. Like what's your secret?
I'm very mindful of like taking care of myself, which I used to be bad at back in the day. I used to be like, well, I got to do this, I got to do that. And then I would rise my stress. And just because I'm like, okay, forget me, we got stuff to do. And then you don't realize that if you don't cater to yourself, to your needs, to your peace, to like even taking some time to just breathe or go get a massage or listening to yourself when yourself tells you, I need this, I don't like this, or this is too much for me, or I'm not liking this conversation. Like I listened to that. And like I told, I was talking to one of my clients one of these days, I was like, I realized that we have to walk around, with our inner child in mind. Like picturing, it's hard for us to be nice to ourselves, but picture yourself as a kid telling you like, hey, I don't like this, or I don't want to be here. This is uncomfortable. Like you have to tend to that person because that person is going to determine your day-to-day living. If you keep pushing that person back, you're going to have a crappy day, crappy life. Like, yeah. So I'm very aware to that. And because of that, I'm able to live life like this right now. Like just a few years back, I wasn't smiling like this. Like, cause again, just responsibilities, this, and that, trying to appeal to everybody and everything. And I was putting myself on the back burner. And now I'm like, I'd like to say self-regulated. I can handle a lot of things better than I used to because I do cater to myself throughout the day.
So now you listen to your inner child. Before you were just suppressing the feelings of the inner child, like not paying attention.
Yeah. Like the more you push that person, that part of you back, the more you're carrying anger and stress and pushing it on people. But again, if you're good with you, with yourself, everything else is a breeze, I think.
No, that's a bar for sure, because I think a lot of people, I see, obviously with the line of work I do, I see a lot of people come in and they don't want to talk about that. You know, they want to suppress that and they want to shove it under the rug. They want to kind of keep going or stay extra busy or distracted. But that's beautiful, man. I see like how you like psychology, I see that, and it sounds like it helped you with your transformation. But, speaking of transformation, just like going back to the social media part of it is like, do you see yourself wanting to be kind of like a content creator, like maybe also too, like maybe trying to figure out how to earn and monetize that as well?
Of course, I think that's a lot of people's goal nowadays. It comes with a lot of perks and a lot of opportunity and stuff like that. And actually, I wanted to bring this up because this just happened this week, which is really amazing. But I had a special guest in the chair, and I hadn't even put the video out of who it was or whatever.
Okay.
But I had a booking on Tuesday where it was an unfamiliar name, and I'm like, okay, I always have regulars. Who is this person? And I almost messaged them like asking for a deposit because sometimes when it's a new person, they don't show up. But I didn't. I was like, oh, well, I'll just go to work and see hopefully that they show up. Yeah. So the guy comes in. I'm still working on my other client, and I'm like, hey, I'll be with you in a second. They sit down. I'm finishing up my client. I look over at him and his friend. I'm like, unfamiliar faces. What do you? I was like, well, who recommended you to me? I was like, did you get a recommendation to come? Because that's usually the case. They don't just find me or whatever. And the guy was like, he's like, no, I actually found you on Instagram. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And again, I don't think that he's from town. I was like, you guys in town for work? And then they kind of just smiled and said yes. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I didn't even ask. I was like, I'll ask him what he does when he gets in the chair or whatever.
Okay, smart.
So I get done with my client. He gets in the chair. And he shows me the haircut that he wants to do. And then I start cutting his hair. Of course, you want to bald out the line. And whenever you're balding out the line, you want to pull the ear back that ear was not moving.
Oh.
Which I was like, okay, I was like, you're a fighter. You're a fighter, aren't you? Because he had the cauliflower ears. Right.
Oh,
And then he's
okay,
like,
okay.
yeah, he's like, I actually have a fight this Friday. And I was like, you're at the intras. You're going to be at the intras this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. And then so, yeah, come to find out, you know, it was a UFC fighter that found me on Instagram. He's like, I really like your content. It's really good. It's one of the best. It's the best in Wichita. And I'm like, oh my God, don't say that, because we have a lot of great content creators here. But for you to say that and think that is so awesome.
Super dope.
Yeah. And then he's like, no, you should keep doing it. He's like, my brother really blew up from this. And yeah, we got done with the haircut, did a few pictures, videos and stuff like that. He left. And that's when Kyra tells me, he's like, you know who his brother is? And I was like, who? He said, Keith Lee.
Oh, for real?
Failed to mention who his brother was. He just casually said, "Oh, hey, yeah,
crazy.
My brother blew up off of doing social media." Like,
that's crazy. And so, what was his name? The fighter?
Kevin Lee.
Kevin.
And then I went back
Lee.
on my booking link, and I looked at the name. I was like, Kevin Lee. It makes sense.
So how's that feel?
I will say, you know, Steven to me is famous too. Our friend Steven, he's UFC too.
Oh yeah, Steven.
But we had known him before, you know, so there wasn't
He's around our
nervousness
age
there.
too.
Yeah. So that's the only reason why I wasn't nervous. But this guy just out of nowhere, just booked. That was completely unexpected. So I thought that was just so cool. And then, you know, I asked him too. I was like, hey, did you have somebody to braid your hair? He said, yeah, but I'm not sure, blah, blah, blah. I was like, we got my girl Kyra right here. So she ended up braiding him for the fight too. So it was a dope experience. Yeah. Again, they always say that you never know who you're going to have in your chair.
That's real.
Yeah. Usually opportunities like that, you want to reach out like, hey, let me do this, blah, blah, blah. And this one just came, and it was just great. It was amazing. Yeah.
You might even be able to be cutting somebody's hair, and eventually you've been doing it for such a long time. Now you're cutting their kids' hair.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you say you've been cutting for 10 years.
Yeah. Just seeing some of the kids that I started cutting and seeing them grow up.
Mm-hmm. Now you're lining up their beard. They didn't even have a beard.
Exactly. Like the ones that were kids, and then they become teenagers, and then it's like, oh my God. Like, you're growing facial hair. It's so crazy. It's like, I'm not a mom, but I'm experiencing these kids, like, just growing up or becoming adults. I'm like, oh my God, you're at the club. I seen a kid that I cut at the club. I was like, what is this?
That's crazy. It makes you kind of feel old. Like, man, what's going on?
It's like, what's happened? What are you doing here? Don't grow up.
Does it make you want to have kids? When you cut like the young kids?
So... Yeah, absolutely. Because they're just, I don't know, kids are just wholesome. My only doubts about having kids, it's not the kids themselves, it's just the world sometimes. Yeah.
I hear you about that. Yeah.
And then what people are or aren't implementing into their kids, which is what our kids would be growing up around. So that's my only doubt with kids. It's never, you know, having the capacity to do it. Is just the outside world sometimes. Yeah,
for sure. How do you feel about when it comes to relationships? Like, you know, does your partner like feel any kind of way, or in the past, like being around guys all day, cutting hair and touching guys' heads?
I've been told by people that I didn't date, by the way, they're like, oh, I could never date a female barber.
Oh, for real? That's what they say.
And there's some people that are okay with it. The only thing actually that kind of concerns me about dating sometimes is that, and I've talked to the girls about this, like when you got good stuff, especially just in women in general, when you got good things going for you, it's like you have to make sure you're with a confident person. And because there's been times in the past where I've kind of minimized my accomplishments or minimized myself just to make sure that I didn't make somebody uncomfortable with where they're at in life. And that's where I know a lot of people are like, okay, equally yoked only, you know, don't date anything outside of where you're at. Sure. And, you know, sometimes you try to, I've tried to in the past, and then it kind of shows the imbalance of you being happy about what you're working on and the other person being like, you know, and you don't want, I'll just say it, like, you don't want a weak link on your team. You don't. Because it's again, I've kind of accommodated to it in the past, but at this point I'm like, so support me and feel confident and root for me, or, you know, I'm just gonna have to grow and just be sad about, you know, having to leave somebody behind.
So why did you feel like you needed to dim your light to be with whoever this individual.
Yeah. And I feel like I would just do that in general.
Okay,
you know,
just like yeah,
in general with
person.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something I had to look at myself and be like, you don't have to. Or when somebody would give me a compliment, I was like, they'll be like, oh, great shirt. I'm like,
right.
Yeah, but it's not that great because blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
I couldn't take a compliment.
For sure.
So, and I would do that in relationships or even friendships sometimes too, just because I'm always making sure that other people feel comfortable so that I don't feel uncomfortable with their, I don't want to say insecurity, but their uncomfortability or whatever that they're dealing with. And I would accommodate a lot, which is it's not good.
It's like people pleasing.
Yeah. Just to put it in terms. Yeah.
Yeah.
People pleasing. Yeah.
Okay. Because that's what it sounds like. So is that why you're single? Because of just like, being around guys? Because even like, I remember like, Gabby Jones came on the podcast and she talked about in the past when she worked at Twin Peaks and like just having to have a partner who is secure with you being around males all day. You know what I mean? So it's like when you're out on dates, like is that like kind of a turn off from those guys that want to talk to you, or what are people saying? They're like, yeah, I can't do that.
Like I said, I've only heard people say that don't
or insecure
that we weren't even on dating terms or nothing. It's just
facts.
people just throwing opinions out there like that. But I will say, I think it's all on us. We have to be able to like know how to properly date the right people. And I will say, like within the last 2 years, I've done a lot better at choosing better, even if it is just on a dating like type of thing. I haven't came across situations where I could really just say that I've talked to somebody and like, oh, they were just the worst, blah, blah. Usually if you get to that point, it's because there's something you allowed it. Yeah. You got yourself to that point because you didn't cut it off. You didn't put your boundaries up, whatever. There shouldn't be any reason why anybody should get riled up or anything. It's just, hey, are we looking at something? Are we wanting the same things? Cool. If not, we're not going to beat it into each other to become it. Either it aligns or maybe if we're willing to work on it, great. Right. If not, if we're on two different paths. And again, like I had to learn how to do that.
From experience.
Yeah.
Or just something from your friends too.
Yeah.
Because it's always easier said than done, and like you may even have friends in the past or even currently who are in those kind of relationships. Like what are your thoughts about people in those situations?
I feel like we all kind of just need to be more compassionate because we all date according to our upbringing and what we experienced or what we didn't experience, so I think a lot of people will be quick to like judge people that are still in a bad situation or I don't know, judge the relationship just based off of what they're seeing because of their standard or whatever. But everybody grew up differently with a different perspective of what love and connection is, and it comes from childhood and growing up. So that's why when I see people back and forth and going through this, I'm like, I understand. At some point I did something like that, or we're all learning. We're doing what we can with what we know and what we were given.
That's real.
So all I ever do is just, hey, this is a perspective that I have, and at the end of the day, we're all gonna learn when we want to learn, and by going through it. So
do you feel like it's hard in modern times being a woman, or I don't know, what's it like?
I mean, I think we're at that point where, social media expectations, they expect you to look a certain way or that type of thing. There's a lot of expectation because of social media.
Man, why do you think that is? Because I would agree with you. Expectations to look a certain way.
Yeah. I think that maybe that's always been a thing, but it's getting more and more the more that, we get into the era of more social media and more influence. That's what it is, that word influence. Everybody feels like they have to keep up with the way that everybody else is doing everything else. And that's one thing I just recently said to somebody. I was like, look, I'm not going to change who I am. Take me as I am, but I'm not about to.
Oh, okay. You had to tell somebody that.
Yeah. It's just, I am who I am. Like it or leave it. But
is somebody trying to change you?
Yeah, no. It's a complicated situation.
It's a complicated situation.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think we all have to be comfortable with ourselves at the end of the day.
No, for sure.
Regardless of anything. I see a lot of people picking up personalities from social media everything's so,
Well, not people not being themselves. They're trying to be like a personality, a social media personality.
I think that can tend to happen, but I think it's a normal like human thing. It's just we're just so exposed to all these things that it's just like it's all influencing us, to our clothes, to our way of being, to our way of thinking. And sometimes you have to be able to step out of that and be like, is this me? And that's when it comes to everything. I even say that about religion. Like, I respect everything that everybody believes, but make sure it's you,
Make sure it's you.
not implemented, beaten into you.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about, spirituality and religion, your thoughts about that. I'm curious about that. It's a topic I enjoy hearing people's perspectives.
Spirituality.
Yeah, just
rabbit hole.
yeah, we go there.
I will say I'm big on like the laws, the laws of the universe.
The hermetic principles.
The laws as to like what you do comes back, all that stuff. I'm just very respectful of how people believe it. My opinion, and I've stuck to this for the longest time, regardless of what people believe in, I feel like it's all the same thing, just in different ways. And I don't think it's possible for everybody to be on the same page, because we're made individuals. Right. If we were made to think exactly the same, we would have been placed in that kind of way. Right. The only thing is that I do not like is people that are just hateful because one person doesn't believe in the way that they do. And that's where I feel like, regardless of what you believe in, you're going the opposite way here. You're supposed to be loving, respecting towards each other. And some people just go left just because they're so attached to their belief. And that's the biggest thing, is like as humans, we're flawed. We have attachments, and that could be to anything. And again, I feel like a lot of people attach themselves too much to like, I'm right and you have to believe this. And I don't think that's right.
That's real. Yeah. So like, I don't know, like church hurt, there's people that were close to you possibly who try to force their beliefs onto you. Did that make you want to go that way?
No, like I said, I grew up in an environment where,
like you say, mom broke the cycle.
Yeah. So, I mean, I will say we grew up Catholic. Right. And I think once I tried to go to a Christian church, it was kind of like what are you doing? And then I'm like, why is this wrong? And they're like, I don't know, but I don't think we're supposed to be doing that. So it was like, doing? You know what I mean? It was, but again, that's where I was first able to tell how programmed we are into doing things the way that the previous person was doing it and not questioning it. And that's where that was the start of my spirituality, because I was like, I love going to Christian churches. And then from there, I'm like, well, my friend believes in something else, and I don't think he's crazy. I respect them. I know they're aligned with
for sure
what we should be doing. Let me go explore that too. Let me learn about what they're talking about. Okay. And I'm like, oh, this stuff is the same thing. Like, love is love, hate is hate.
Love is love, hate is hate.
Yeah.
So how would you define, like, what does your spirituality look like? Like, what do you believe?
I believe that God is love.
Hey,
period.
That's what the tat is right there. God is love, unity, peace, period. All that stuff. Yeah, that's why you're so positive, because I think nowadays people are like so attached to wanting to be right, wanting
Egos.
to have.
And that goes to everything. Yeah. When I feel like when you have an ego, anything in the world can move you.
Anything, explain.
Anything in the world can move you. Like, let's just say I've seen people just getting riled up about certain things, and then I could see, I'm like, that's their ego. Yes, or me, even, again, like if I'm, anything that moves you, that means your ego is very much alive. And honestly, I've came to realize that I think we're human, we're always going to have an ego, but I think we have to be mindful of it and make sure we starve it as much as possible. Because if you're constantly feeding into needing validation, into being accepted, into people pleasing, into anything, you're feeding this thing, making it grow. And what we need to be doing is starving it so that we can move according to how we should be moving versus this thing that's controlling us, our emotions.
Man, it's very real. So how do you starve the ego? How would you tell somebody who's watching, who is really connected, because you're very knowledgeable on these topics, so it's like, what would you recommend for somebody to starve that ego?
I would say self-awareness, because the more you learn about yourself, the more less people can come and tell you about you. which is gonna be less triggering to your ego.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess I can start there, but there's so many things. Honestly, I feel like, and I've had this conversation before, it's like anything you might have a question on, we got the internet. It could be the dumbest question, like, how do I starve my ego?
But see, that's the thing.
Everything
that's
will pop up on there.
We're in a time now where like being ignorant is a choice, man. We got ChatGPT, Google, YouTube
Especially
videos,
now.
Podcasts.
What is that thing that they talk to and it's a robot talking to you like a person?
Yeah, that's the AI.
AI, yeah.
All that
you
stuff.
can sit there like, hey, how do I starve my ego? And then they'll talk to you like
they'll
a
tell
person.
you something.
Yeah.
At least start. That's why. That's the thing, man, because people make a lot of excuses, and they're like the accountability piece.
Yeah. Distractions. People want to go into the distractions and to going and watching a movie, playing games, which is fine. This is great. But at times you have to sit there with yourself and look at yourself. Nobody and be okay with nobody. Everybody. It's too scary.
Much, yeah, it's scary because now you got to shut off the world and now you got to listen to all the thoughts you've been numbing and escaping from. People ain't trying to do that. Yeah,
they don't. And that's another thing that I've kind of implemented to a few of my friends is that we have to get comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations where you start to feel that I'm getting riled up. That's I think that's part of our ego.
100%. 100%.
And then again, self-regulation is a big part of it too. Is we have to have uncomfortable conversations, and they're uncomfortable because they're supposed to bring something. There's something here that needs fixing within ourselves, within that person, within each other.
Yeah, right.
There's something that's beautiful that can come about.
It is beautiful.
Possibly, if you can control yourself and have these conversations. Absolutely. And be brave enough and put your pride aside enough to be able to, let me listen to them. Let me take the time to explain it to them, which again, I used to not be able to. I used to be like, oh, this person did this. I'm going to stay quiet. They should have known that they shouldn't have been doing that. Disappear. Now it's like, you know what? I'm going to present this to them. Either they're going to receive it or reject it. If they reject it, that means that's not somebody that I need to be around right now. But hopefully one day they'll understand. But never underestimate planting a seed by bringing something to somebody's attention, and maybe they'll pick up on it later on. But
that's real there, Ruth. I'm learning. And so, like, even like you said, I'm curious about that transformation about when you were saying like how you used to be, then now to like what we're all hearing now. Like, let's talk about that side. Like maybe that was 10 years ago, or God only knows when. Yeah. But what was going on with Ruth then? Like, were you attached to the ego or wanting to be right?
Oh yeah. Maybe it's a Virgo thing.
Maybe it's a Virgo
controlling.
Thing.
Having to make things work my way, stubborn.
Yeah, my I don't know how deep you are into like the zodiac stuff, but my ascendant sign I think is Virgo.
Yeah,
or something like that. Yeah. So I don't know what that means.
Yeah, they say there's like different placements.
Does it mean what does it mean? That. Do you know?
So
what it
I haven't dug that deep into it. I know my moon or something is Sagittarius.
Okay,
but if you,
Okay.
So I feel like this is one of those things where I would want to dig into, but then it gets too complicated. It's like, what do you mean there's a chart?
I'm gonna talk to Gabby because I think the moon is like over the emotions. So like your emotions, you deal with emotions through like.
Which I told myself, I'm like, okay, I know Virgos, and I'm like, why am I more intense sometimes? And they said that's Sag.
Yeah. Do you know any other parts of it or other signs, or do you just know Virgo?
That's all I know is Virgo.
We gotta hit up Gabby. What are the other? We gotta figure out her natal chart here. So how did you meet Gabby G?
Oh yeah,
DJ Gabby G.
I met her through Nook at that first barbershop that I was
Midwest
at.
Blends.
Yeah,
right?
Like I said, I don't know if they remember this, but I know again Nook got on to me about it whenever he introduced me to her. I think I was in the middle of my lunch, and I don't know, I was a strange individual. Judge me, but he introduced me to her like, "Hey, this is Gabby." Blah 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 blah. I looked at her and I took a bite out of my sandwich, and he's like, "Bro, I'm trying to introduce you to her. Why are you just still eating?" I was like, "I'm sorry. It's just I'm hungry."
That's hilarious. And
then Gabby's like, "No, it's fine. But that was our first interaction.
That's hilarious.
And then like shortly after that, I think we just started like hanging out, and yeah, that's when we just clicked. And then again, maybe it was like an earth sign thing. She's a Taurus, I'm a Virgo, and it just always tends to like earth signs always tend to gravitate towards each other sometimes. Yeah. Or even when I was cutting that guy Kevin in the chair, I was like, this dude, some of the stuff that he's saying is like, I feel the earth in him, you know?
Feel the earth in
yeah, I feel the earth sign around him.
crazy.
It's giving like integrity, it's giving undivided attention, it's giving, you know what I'm saying? And then we dug into it later on that day, and Kyra was like, you know what sign he was? And I was like, nah, but it's giving earth.
Okay.
And she's like, he's a Virgo.
He's
and
a
I was
Virgo.
like, I knew it.
That
I knew
Virgo.
it. Yeah.
Wow.
You could just feel it sometimes.
Do you feel like whenever you do find their person, are you gonna like kind of base it off of their sign?
Yeah, so I've brought this up a couple of times to people, and I'm like, they're like, oh, why does that matter? I'm like, to me, it matters sometimes, because like, let's just say, I think I know myself and other Virgos enough to where if somebody says, hey, this person did this thing, if it's another sign, I feel like they're just being impulsive. But if it's a Virgo, I'm like, I know it took them a long time to make this action. It probably took 10 times of the last straw for them to do this. So yes, it does matter. Whereas a Gemini or something, they'll be quick to do it. Does that make sense?
No, it makes a lot of
like,
sense. You're gonna like the natal charts because it goes into a little bit more to like all your signs. Like you probably like, if you like that, you'll like that for sure. Because I know that's what, you know, it just kind of layers everything, you know, more than just the sun sign. So like the Sag and the moon, we gotta figure out the rest. You know what time, like if you just know what time you're born and where, then you can figure it all out. But it's interesting stuff, you know? Interesting things.
It's just, it's a lot. That's why I'm like, man, I'm just figuring myself day to day. I was like, and again, I need to do a little more digging into the whole Sag stuff too.
What's the hardest part about owning your own business?
I will say just the responsibility. Everything's on you. It's different than renting. When you're renting, it's like you handle what you got to handle just with your haircuts, with your appointments. Boom, here's the money. You don't got to worry about anything else. But when you have your own business, it's like, hey, we need paper towels. Hey, we need toilet paper. And most of the time, if you stay on top of it, it's cool. But it's kind of hard to initially develop a system of like, okay, I know around this time we run out of towels. Let me go handle that. Around this time is about the time I need to be stocking up on this. And that's, it's like all the little stuff.
Little things.
That you didn't have to worry about or think about before. Then now it's like, it's your responsibility to make sure everybody's cool. You know, so
make sure everybody's cool, everybody has the things that they need, and then the clientele.
Or I feel like even like tending to your clients, like why, or not your clients, but the people that are renting from you. Like, it's just, they could just pay you your money or whatever, but I think it's very important to stay in tune. And this is something I developed over time because I used to not tune in with myself, but now I'm trying my best to like tune into people and be like, okay, they haven't been here, or they've been acting like this. Let me check up on them, because I've been horrible at that. And with friends, with family, it's just like,
you don't seem like the type that would.
I had to develop it.
You had to develop it,
Because again, and it all goes back to like how we treat ourselves is going to reflect on how we treat everything else. And sometimes we're not bad people. It's just that we can't give what we aren't already giving to ourselves. So me, I would put my emotions and my feelings on the back burner. So I would do that with other people sometimes too, you know, or when it came to, having fun, I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? Like and I think that's why, again, I sympathize a lot with people now, is because I do realize they're only being able to give you what they either learned or what they're able to give themselves. And that's never personal. Again, for example, a past situation where I was dating somebody, I felt like he wasn't prioritizing me. But then knowing his background of how he grew up, he was definitely in an environment where he was not prioritized. Was he doing that on purpose? I don't think so. No. But I think it's just, again, learned behavior. Like, this is the only thing you know. So instead of me like being outraged of like, he's a horrible person for me, again, my accountability for my emotions, and then seeing the reality of the situation. It's like, okay, this isn't an uproar. This is unfortunate, but it's nothing to be taken personal. We can only give what we know.
Real.
You know what I'm saying?
Did you know that at the time when you were dating that person, like that it probably wasn't anything personal? This is probably just how he was raised.
Yeah, at that time, and that was only like a couple years ago. So,
yeah.
I feel like my brain really clicked at 28. At 28.
Yeah, I'm just like at 28. Like how? Because you look so young.
Oh, thanks. Again, like I'm taking care of myself.
Yeah, right. Managing the stress.
Now I am, but Yeah, no, I think like life really just clicked at 28, and then it was just from there, you know?
Yeah. They said that's when our Saturn makes a complete lap around 27 to 29.
Crazy. I never heard that, but it makes sense.
So
'cause
like
that's
like
really,
around that, it's like, you know, you really become like a real adult. You know, you've
Mm-hmm.
had like some hard lessons, whether it be like, you know,
Yeah.
life-changing things. But yeah, 27 to 29, that's like when Saturn just,
yeah.
it's like a whole, I don't really know. I hear,
Yeah.
you know, I'm always skeptical of some things, but it's just interesting to me. Like, I don't know
Mhm.
if any of that's true or if it's just like whatever,
Right.
but
But it makes
sounds
sense
cool.
though.
But
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, I guess whatever Saturn's energy does, it made a whole lap.
It
It's
must be
about
because
27
again,
years.
that's when my brain clicked in, right?
That's what for a lot of people, like I realized like around that time, 27, 28, it's like, yo, I gotta change something, like, you know?
Yeah. And see, that's why I be telling people that are younger, like, have some compassion for yourself
Mhm.
because I think we as humans get into our 20s and we're like, we're adults, we have to have it all figured out.
Right,
And that's
you don't
not the
have to.
case. Like, you just came out of your teens. This is like your first years of adulthood. You're not going to have it all figured out, and that's okay. You might make mistakes, and then you might make the same mistake again, but have compassion. Like, if you're still making the same mistakes at 30, I'll judge you then.
Okay.
But in your 20s, it's like you're figuring it out, and that's okay.
True,
Just be
true.
nicer to yourself.
Yeah, it's hard. It
Yeah.
can be hard for people, especially if their upbringing was, you know, nobody was. They were always hard on themselves and whatnot. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard for some people,
Yeah.
you know?
And even with that, I feel like people need, I'll bring this up. I feel people need that grew up in situations like that need to be around more healed people or people that are safe to be around. You're not going to grow in environments that are constantly still putting you down if that's all you're around all the time.
Yeah,
But you get around people that are healed and that are good, you're gonna feel safer. You don't have to have your guard up and stuff like that while you heal yourself.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Because if you have that guard up, you can't love. You can't really connect with those people. So like, yeah, man. I mean, you definitely know a lot about the psychology. I could see you going back to school if you had the time to go
I'd
back.
be excited to.
What would you do exactly? Like, how would you blend that in with what you're doing now? Like, how would that work?
I don't know. I
just
know
like
it's
to
a
learn.
thought, and I do give the best advice that I possibly can, but I'm also like humble enough to be like, I want to make sure that I'm doing right and that I'm saying the right things and that I'm actually helpful versus, you know, like making things worse.
No, I mean, you're on point about it, you know, for sure.
But also with that, I did want to bring up, because I know I made a post recently about, you know, it's like Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Sure.
Maybe that's something I could ask you. Like this,
Yeah,
I do want to collab with people that are, you know, into helping people with mental health and stuff like that, resources and anything like that. How can we collab as barbershops and
I mean
job?
the first obvious way is just like, hey, like I know somebody, you know, and then I mean I can give you like some cards if you like.
If you have cards, I'll have
them.
them
I
there.
give you some cards, you can just put them up there and whatnot. That's kind of the obvious way. And then like, you know, seeing people, they probably come in there talking about relationship kind of things, because the majority of clients that come in to see me or just to therapy in general, there's some kind of relationship conflict, whether it's with themselves, their boss, their mom, their kids, their partner, you name it. There's some kind of internal battle or external battle with somebody. It's not like, I'm coming to therapy because my phone broke. You know, like that might just be another thing on top of all the other stuff going on with their relationship stuff. So like I always say, like the most valuable thing in life is not only time but relationships. Like even if you're religious, relationship with God, like your dog, your cat, you know, like that's
your
the key. Like
mental, physical maintenance,
your
everything.
relationship with other live beings.
Yeah.
You know, that's key. Like it's not about money. I mean, money helps you, you know, create foundation.
Yeah.
You know, but like just like when you get a house, like I'm not sure, like, you know, like when you got your house, like you want to make sure you look at the foundation. Like that's so important. Like especially when all that rain came. Oh man.
Messed up my car, so I know.
Oh, the rain messed up the car?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, what happened? Did your car get flooded?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it was already having its issues, but that definitely like didn't help the situation. But it's okay, you know. And see, situations like that, I would have flipped out in the past.
Oh, for
real?
real?
Now it's just like I would have been stressing. Like I would be having a horrible day from it. Like, don't talk to me like I'm not trying to have fun right now. I got this to worry about.
Dang,
I was that type of person.
Wow,
I would sit and hold on to that all day because it's stuff that I know that I needed to get done. Yeah. And now it's just like, you know what, I don't know. I felt like if I didn't do that, then I wasn't taking my situation serious. And that's not the case. It's like we have to be mindful of like what we're carrying with us because it's going to set the tone for everything that we do and everything we experience throughout the day or throughout the week.
So real.
It's just, again, mindfulness and just.
Do you meditate? Like, what are you doing there, Ruth? Because you have this very calm demeanor. And like you said, like in the past, you would have flipped out. The whole day is done. You know, the whole day is cooked, as the young kids would say. And now it's not like, oh, okay, well, we got to just get it done and I got to Uber around for a little bit.
Right. I don't meditate as much as I would want to. I think my way of meditating is just like doing things in silence with nobody around. I could be getting ready or even just anything that I'm doing, but just doing it in silence. That's just kind of my way. Yeah. Anything where I'm just by myself, handling things, but doing it in a calmly manner to where I have enough like silence and enough space to just me and my thoughts, things that I do have to do, things that I need to work on. It's almost like just mentally journaling. Like these are things that I need to do. And then kind of like, you know,
I'm picturing like a ASMR kind of like content videos. You could do like cutting hair, or you could just getting ready. Like that would be fire. Yeah. Have you thought about ASMR? Like, cause you know, like the no words kind of content, like the Ashton Hall stuff.
Probably, you know, some people like the haircut videos, like the sound, the sound like that. Yeah, with the razor.
Definitely. I wanted to ask you a personal question, like just for myself, because when I went to a barbershop, I love going to barbershops, but I got, I would say traumatized. I went to a barber. I was seeing him for some time. I followed him through, barber school and whatnot. And dude scarred me, man. Like, and it wasn't really like him. I had a scar. It was like all the way like from my beard. And the scar don't pop up to like 48 hours later. So I just took a picture. I was like, yo, bro, like, you scarred me. Like, is there anything I can do? He's like, just rub some like cocoa butter on it. And I'm like, dang. And I'm just like, like just the way he went about it, I was like, dang. And then like for me, like it inspired me to realize like I just want to start learning to cut myself. Yeah. So like even like today, I did this right here.
Okay.
So I was
wondering who your barber was.
Yeah, I did this. I did this the other day, and I was like, yeah, I gotta do this right for Ruth. So I was like, man, I need to ask Ruth. Like,
you're like she got different standards.
I was getting nervous cut my hair because I was like, this is gonna be a barber, Yeah. And so I say all that because I'm just curious to like, how do you get the line out? Because I be struggling. Like I be using the guard. I'm like, how do I get that line out?
That's the thing. I think there's this thing that they would say, it's called the barber eye. Like you just have to be able to see it and to be able to get it out and know what you're doing with your tools. And
we're talking about fading to people who don't understand, like how to get a very smooth gradient
transition.
That's what we're talking about, to make it look like kind of how I have it, hopefully have it here.
Yeah, and just like with anything, just practice, and then being able to like take a picture of it. Because sometimes when you take a picture of a haircut, it's gonna look different than in person for some reason. I don't know. It's a barber thing we notice. Where it's just like, like this right here live, and in the picture does not look the same.
And you don't use any guards.
Yeah.
How do you fade with no guards? Like they just, I mean, like you said, it's an art.
Yeah.
It's an art.
I don't know. I mean, cool. Everybody could do it. Just anything. Do you have your whole, like,
I
all
use
your
guards.
tools?
I gotta use guards. I mean, like, like I'll just start from the bottom and then I'll try to use the guards. They always break though.
Yeah.
And I gotta figure out how to get the one that fits perfectly. But it's relaxing. Like, because I feel like I can cut my hair better than I can cut somebody else's hair. But like, it's really relaxing. It's kind of a self-regulation tool.
That's good that you find relaxation in it, because a lot of people don't.
Yeah, you're right. It's relaxing. Like I figured out a way how to hold the mirror and do all that, but it's fun. I enjoy it. Like as far as just like it's just relaxing. I like to create too, and mess up and learn from it.
That's dope. I think you're doing a great job. But yeah, as far as like, I don't know. I feel
we
like
gonna see though. We gonna when this ends, we gonna
gonna look to see.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like, all right, you need to work on that part.
Yeah, but I feel like definitely barbers gonna be a little more mindful in situations like that, and I think that's where people do tend to gravitate to certain barbers more than others is the ones that are being a little more mindful. And I get it. Sometimes people, you know, as barbers, we do have a lot going on. That is just kind of hard to like sit there and give somebody some time to have a conversation or something. I'll get a lot of like, you don't ever answer your messages. And I was like, well, you know, like I'm trying.
Yeah, that's tough.
But
you're busy. You can't just pull out the phone out when you're cutting hair.
Yeah, but I think like barbers do still have to keep in mind, I'm like, these are people that are choosing you to come to you. Like, take care of them. If they have any comments, concerns, like, be open to that. It's not just money. And I think that's where sometimes people do, again, gravitate towards some barbers more than others, is because it's like, okay, I could feel that I matter here. It's not just my money. And like I said, I can't speak for all barbers or whatever. Sometimes, again, they got a lot going on. I've been there. I've been out of tune with people's emotions and feelings and needs because I was putting mine on the back burner as well. I didn't know that that's like a part of what we need to be doing.
That's what we
like,
have
what
to
do they
do.
need? Like, comments, concerns, what's going on? Like, you know, and I think we should be a little more open to that type of thing. With, you know, have that actual connection with our clients and stuff whenever we can.
I'm sure that you do. I'm sure you probably really check in with your folks, you know, before you cut their hair and, you know, moisturize their skin and kind of do all that stuff like that. And I'm just thinking now, because like other female barbers that are here, like, you know, the first one that comes to my mind is, you know, the brow goat. I haven't met her before, you know, but she's there at prom time. Was she there when you were at prom time?
Yeah.
So they had two female barbers there at the same time?
Yeah.
It's fire.
And then now they have Cece now.
Cece.
I think she just graduated. So it's cool because even though I work next door, so I could see, you know, like the changes and stuff like that and the collabs and stuff. Sometimes the guys will go over there and get their nails cleaned up and stuff like that at Vibez.
Yeah. What would you say, like, you know, like for women out there who maybe don't understand men, because you're around men like a lot of the time, and women obviously, but like what have you been learning? Like, you know, doing this for 10 years, working mostly with men, like what have you learned from men, from like just hearing them, their stories and talking?
Men are not that complicated. They're not. I think women are way more complicated, and I feel like.
Why do you think that?
I feel like as women we have more needs, and that's fine. But I feel like men's needs are a little more simple, and sometimes as women we'll interpret certain things. We'll overthink things sometimes and overdo things, thinking this is what they need, this is what they want, blah 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 blah. Like, no, it's just they're kind of simple. Just
really are.
And one of the things is respect, you know. More than anything, it's just respect, you know. If it's something that you don't like about somebody, about a man, it's just, you know, to sit there and nag is never the key. It's just, hey, this is what I want. If not, it doesn't have to be madness and chaos or anything like that.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, but aside from that, it's like, I don't know. I think that's just one of the main things I realized. Men are very simple. Women are definitely more complicated, and that's okay. But I mean, we could definitely coexist a lot better if we open ourselves up to listening more. And definitely the big thing, giving men a safe space, because women will always come off as like, you have a safe space here with me. But okay, guess what? The unhealed wounds sometimes of women is very conniving. And then that can happen with men too. But
for sure,
women are such beautiful creatures that you can never tell when they're evil. And again, I feel like as women, we do have to like come together and grow so that we can give men also a safe space. Because a lot of men do give us a safe space to just be us. And then with men, it's like your feelings don't matter sometimes. You don't have to say that, but by our actions, sometimes we give that off. And then that's where men can't grow, because now they're lashing out and doing X, Y, Z because they haven't expressed. Or if they try to express, they get shut down. Or they get belittled, or you're insecure, or you're this. It's a lot easier to do that to men because men stay quiet about that stuff. They don't fight back and nag back most of the time. Because I know some men that do.
Because we kind of suppress a lot of the stuff. We kind of keep it under there. But you said something that I haven't heard before, but you said women sometimes, you know, it's harder to see like the parts of them that you said were evil, but like it's hard to be able to, because maybe they come up. Why did you say that exactly? You said it's hard for them to, you know, for people to see like kind of the bad side, or is it just because you see a pretty face? Because
I feel like as women, we've always talked about men and their toxicity or just their flaws, their faults, and we can all agree with a lot of things. But again, we don't have more of that conversation of where the woman could be the toxic one, because we're quick to dismiss that.
So so they say toxic masculinity, but then the opposite of that, toxic femininity,
which is non-existent to us sometimes. Like, what's that?
Like, what's that? Yeah.
It's just but yeah, like I said, I think if we can all like actually come together and actually have actual uncomfortable conversations and put our ego aside, work on our ego, because it's not like it's a date one day to the next, like, oh, I'm fine. Like, just yesterday I was having a conversation that was riling me up, and I was breathing. I was like, you know what? The goal isn't to be right. The goal isn't to belittle. If I really genuinely care about myself and about other people, I'm going to navigate this conversation in the best way possible, so that we can actually come to a conclusion, to a resolution, because that's the goal. It's not to be right. If you feel the need to be right, your ego is this big over here. That's real. But again, like I was saying earlier, when you starve your ego, you can actually get the job done of what you're trying to do versus me, I'm right, you're the worst, I'm the victim.
That's real. That's so real. That's really, really real there, Ruth. I think you're a very intelligent person, for sure. Like, just being able to understand like all that, you're able to articulate yourself, and then you're able to be able to cut. Like, cutting hair is an art. It's a whole like form of art. So it's like, that's another form of intelligence that you have as well on top of that. But like the ego stuff, that's real. I can tell that you've definitely done a lot of like inner work to kind of figure out how to, starve the ego and to be able to be calm. So it seems like, speaking with you, like you're actually living like these things you're doing. Yeah. Does it feel like that for you?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, and I love that I do take the time to do those things, because sometimes when people will bring me something that they're expressing that they're going through, I was like, oh, I just did research on this. I know what this is. Okay.
It's like, what is it?
I was like, I can help you with that. I've been digging deep into this. And that's the thing. I'll go into a rabbit hole whenever it comes to like something I realized about psychology. Yeah. I didn't start learning about the 4, what is it called? Attachment styles. I was like, oh my God. I had to go through, I was dating somebody last year, and there was that dynamic of like, things are going great, they're kind of sabotaging. Things are going great, kind of pushing me away.
Distancer dynamic.
And I'm just like, what is going on? There's nothing wrong here in the situation. I was even so like my clients are like my girls. I'm like, bro, tell me what the hell is going on. Like, what is this? It's like, it looks like y'all are both respectful. Y'all are really good people. I don't know what's going on. And that's when I got into a rabbit hole of like, what is going on? And then boom, research. I was like, there's attachment styles that we all have. And I think we all fall into one of them. Yep. And we can fluctuate from one to the other. And I don't know, that was like, and some days I'm like, why did I even meet this person for? Like, we didn't get anywhere. But that's where, again, you have to like take a step back. I'm like, sometimes we don't understand why things happen the way they do, but they're always going to result in something. And if that's all that relationship was for, is for me to learn this, I'm like, okay, I'll take that. It was a fun experience. Nobody hurt each other. Nobody was disrespectful. We got to know each other, and then it kind of just drifted apart. But I also learned about this, and I learned more about myself, and I learned about them, and I learned about people. So and then again, you can take the good out of everything, or you could take, this person didn't do this. They started a relationship with me and they disappeared and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, like everybody is just trying to figure stuff out. Just be cool. You're not the victim all the time. Things don't always have to turn out how you pictured them. It's just sometimes you just got to ride the wave and just ask, again, God, like, what is this for? Where are you taking me? Help me trust the process of what you're taking me through, because I might end up getting something out of it that I picture, or I might end up getting something out of it that I didn't imagine. But you're going to get something out of it, especially if you keep that right mindset. It's
real, Ruth. Yeah. What attachment style were you back then? Do you remember?
Anxious.
Very anxious. The anxious attachment type. Was he avoidant?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. There you see the anxious. So you kind of need that reassurance and needing for him to make you feel secure in the relationship, and he kind of just very kind of
like,
distant.
ooh, you're
but it wasn't
needy.
personal.
Like,
it wasn't personal. He just was like, and so sometimes
Yeah.
too, like a lot of guys can kind of fall into that more that avoidant, but then too it can be the female as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing, what I realized is when the guy is anxiously attached, women don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Because like guys kind of like, you know, it's kind of standard in a way for a woman to be a little bit more anxiously attached because the clingy behavior.
Mm-hmm.
But when the guy's doing that, it can kind of come off possessive.
Yeah.
It can look controlling.
Yeah.
But then he's just anxiously attached.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so then it's just kind of like it's bad for when the guys are anxiously attached.
Yeah.
And it's a turnoff because like women want a guy who's confident.
That's confident, that doesn't need them. Which, I mean, it goes hand in hand. Like a woman and a man, they want somebody, a partner that does not anxiously need them. That
Right, it's annoying.
It's like, hey, I want you to be a part of my life because I think you're cool. Not because I'm going to be nothing without you. Like, that's not
It's that
good.
codependency.
Yeah, that's not
what
good.
that is.
And honestly, it's crazy though, because like, again, when you get to know people and they tell you about their life and stuff like that, I'm like, I can see why you would be this one. Again, I don't tell them.
Yeah, right.
I've learned to stay quiet, but I'm diagnosing myself and everybody around me all the time. All the time. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
I know. See, that's the thing. I can't do that because people already assume that I'm doing that. You can get away with it.
Do you ever have people nervous like with you, like, oh, he's dissecting me or whatever?
Family, all that. Yeah, all the time. Like, especially when I was single, man. Like going on dates. Like, bro, like that was difficult because people were like, "Oh, you're gonna therapize me or whatever." I'm
You're
like,
gonna dissect me.
Me,
I'm absolutely going to dissect you.
right. I mean, I think everybody does it.
Yeah.
I think it's important too. You gotta have that level of discernment to know like the red flags. Because I have so many clients, they come in and like, I'm like, you didn't see the red flags? Like your cousin told you he was on Are We Dating the Same People page, and you still dated him. Like, what are we doing?
Again, accountability.
Accountability
is
man.
Powerful.
Accountability is powerful, definitely. Ruth, I really appreciate you coming on. I know we could probably go for another like 45 minutes if
I
we
would
really
love to come back
to,
a little less nervous too, because I feel like I started to get a little less nervous as it was going, which is probably how it goes. But
and we can go a little bit longer, but like what would you, is there something like you feel like maybe you kind of want to let the people know, like, or even like just like something you want to get off your chest?
Yeah. Work on yourself. Listen to the inner child. Just invest in yourself. Really look at yourself, and because not everything is on the outside. A lot of this stuff is on the inside. And if you don't take the courage to like want to look within, you're gonna have the same problems over and over again. I don't know. I think that's it. I'm always pushing people to just like, hey, just look at yourself, work on yourself. A lot of your problems are you. That's it right there. A lot of your problems are you, even though you don't want to look at them.
Say more about this, please.
A
lot of your problems are
yourself.
Wow.
What do they say that we experience people? Our experience of people on the outside is actually what's within us or something like that. What is that saying?
Yeah.
So again, like if you're seeing the worst in somebody, it's something internal there.
100%.
If I'm choosing to see the best in somebody, it's because like I see the best in me. If I respect this person, it's because I respect me.
Okay, now
if I'm not taking things personal as to why they did that, it's because I have the same compassion for me and I'm able to give that. So again, the more you work on you, the more you're going to view the world differently. Right, and I know it's like everybody's out here suffering and going through all the things that they're going through, but trust me, like that stuff is going to always be there. But how you intake that world, the world and the life that we have is going to be all on you and the stuff that you work on with.
That's real though, but there's science that even backs it up. Like actually, quantum physics, they talk about when you look at like molecules and atoms, like it changes based on the observer. It's crazy. Yeah, like you even connecting it like that. But it's just, I'm going to show you about the 7 hermetic principles. 7 hermetic principles of Hermes. Like, because one of them are as within, as without. Like that's what that is, or as above, so below. Yeah, correspondence. Right, that's the principle of correspondence. Because like you said, like even if somebody triggers you, it's because that is a reminder or something you haven't healed.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, so this person reminds you of somebody, of another relationship, or even yourself.
Yeah.
And so when you like somebody, they remind you of yourself or somebody else that you like.
Yeah.
And so if you have a lot of people that you haven't unfinished business with, there's going to be more triggers.
Listen to that feeling that you get in your chest. Don't ignore it, and don't be like, oh my God, somebody's attacking me. I feel like, why am I feeling this?
Right.
Because that is magic. That is there. That's, kind of like when your body gives you signs that you're sick or whatever.
No, yeah, for sure.
I feel like when we get that anxiety in our chest, or on that uncomfortability, or that sadness that hits you, listen to that, dissect what's going on in that moment, and sit with it and figure out why that is stirring that feeling there. And I think, if anything, those feelings, right, that we get in our chest are like a blessing, because it's telling us, hey, there's something that we got to look at. Don't ignore it, because it's going to always come back. And one day that feeling's not going to be there for that particular situation, because we're going to look at it and we're going to know exactly what to do with it. And we know exactly what riled it up. So again, that feeling that we get in our chest, sadness, anger, uncomfortability, listen to it, listen to yourself, dissect it, so you can figure out where it's coming from, because it's there for a reason.
Yeah, and don't numb it, because a lot of people, they'll numb it with the distraction, or the weed, or you name it, the liquor, or a relationship.
Yeah, or relationships, or just attention.
Sometimes a relationship is the biggest
validation. I need this. Like, come fill my ego because I'm feeling this. Like,
yeah, they say ego stands for edging God out, or edging good out. Like, you're just trying to like just have this inflated sense of self, and just making it more about you. And I think just as a country, I think we're just narcissistic. Like, we diagnose like the countries. Like, I think America's definitely a narcissistic country, just all together.
Yeah.
Like,
and see, when it comes to that ego, like I was telling you earlier, I think when we have an ego, I think we're human, so we're always gonna have it. But I've already like mentally pictured my ego like in a little drawing, right? Okay. Sometimes I'll come back.
Is it like purple or something?
Yeah, it's like a little evil monster.
Okay, yeah, okay. It's like a
so I've realized we all have it. We all have. We're all nice. You know how some people would like talk bad about somebody, and they're like, oh, but they're nice. And that's why I tell people, everybody's nice. Everyone is nice. Don't look at that. Look at their bad side, because everyone has that too.
Like the young like folks who are dating, like, oh, he or she is so nice.
Yeah, everybody's nice. Yeah, look at their bad side and what they do whenever they're triggered. What they say, you never know a person till you see. You won't see who a person is till they don't get what they want or something like that. You got to look at their bad side. So what I do is like sometimes I'll have like a staff meeting with myself and be like, okay, where are we at with our ego?
Where are we at?
Like, where are we at with our ego? So sometimes I'll picture it. I'm like, my ego is in a box in a little jail because he's in timeout.
Okay, you put him in there. He's in the corner.
Yeah, he's in timeout because he can't really control himself right now. Or other times I'm so mentally regulated and I'm so well with myself and with life that I could have it. I picture like an animal, like some of them you don't have to keep them on a leash. They're just there because they know how to conduct. And I feel like there'll be different times in my life where I've gotten to that point now where I don't even got to put mine in a cage no more. They don't even got to be on a leash. Real. They're just right here. It's my little ego is just sitting there. It's dormant. It's sleep. It's chilling. Nothing can come and rile it up. It's chilling. We're good. We're good over
French
here.
Bulldog.
Yeah.
It's that. But no, that's a good analogy, because then it's like you've trained your dog so well, or your ego so well, to the point that it doesn't need to be on a leash. No. You see, because there are some, like, the ego is also good too. I think sometimes people think like ego is just like get rid of it, kill it completely. But like we all have an ego. There's good in it, but it's just like the question is how big, how intense.
Are we feeding it? And sometimes we feed it by needing validation, by fun, by external things, and we make it grow and grow. But again, like if you starve it and you make it this small and that conducted, it's like nothing can come around you that's going to rile you up, that's going to make you mad, that's going to upset you, that's going to make you feel any less about yourself, because we're cool, we're chilling over here.
We cool, we chilling there, bro. Man, Ruth, you have a wealth of knowledge there, man. I think a lot of people, I might have to go ahead and grab me and give me a cut, man. Shoot. Give me a facial. Go ahead and get the eyebrows kind of fixed up and whatnot.
Done, yeah.
That's clean, man. So I really appreciate you coming on the show, Ruth. Can you let everybody know where they can find you out? How do they book?
Are they book? So I'm on the Booksy app, but you can actually follow our Vibez page. When you click on that link, it'll take you to a link where you can book with any of our people there. So we have a braider, Kyra. We have Yalitza. She does aesthetics, facials, Brazilians, all of that. We have Lexi. She does nails. She did amazing job with my nails.
That's what's up.
And then my link to get a haircut or even a facial too. I do waxing from time to time, but most of the time I'm doing haircuts or facials. And like I said, go to our Vibez Instagram and you'll be able to book us through that link right there.
Wait, so it's at Vibez Barbershop?
Yeah, it's Vibez_barbershop. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll put it down in the link below. Just go to the description. Just go to the link below, and we're gonna have all that information there for you guys, so you guys can go get your hair cut, so you guys can look good. You know, because I'm sure, man, like when you're out here, you know, going on dates, if that's what you do, you're probably looking at that haircut. You're probably like, I know that has to be
for sure.
You're like, yo, like, look at this. Like, man, I know it could probably get judgy, but we'll have to talk about that the next time. But if you guys made it this far on the video, man, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and share this video with one person that you feel like might resonate with, who might need to starve their ego, right? So make sure you guys starve your ego. Make sure you guys subscribe. We're gonna sign out. Peace. Until next time.
Peace. Thank you.
Definitely. I appreciate it, Ruth. You did a really good job.
Thank you.
You're natural.